Chosen one, the signs around you are no longer whispers. They are flashing, undeniable signals. The message that was once clouded in doubt has cleared. The static that confused your spirit has faded, and now what stands before you is precise direction. For so long you asked if you were imagining it, if the nudges in your heart were real, if the alignments were coincidence. But now the universe has spoken in a frequency you cannot mistake. The signal is clear. The time of questioning has ended and the moment of following has arrived. Everything you feel pulling you forward is not noise, it is confirmation. Stay with this message until the very end, because each word is a compass meant to sharpen your awareness and align your steps. And when you finish, take a step of intention. Write your warmest wishes in the comments with the number 777. Do it once with clarity, not as ritual but as resonance. That single act releases energy into the flow of the universe, signaling your readiness to receive what you've long been waiting for. The wishes you release now will return multiplied, carried on the same frequency that is calling you forward. When clarity arrives, hesitation becomes dangerous. The signal has been preparing itself through every moment of delay, every quiet season, every doubt you wrestled with. But now all uncertainty has collapsed into certainty. This is why the inner tug feels louder, the alignment sharper, the coincidences too precise to ignore. What was once invisible has become obvious, and the danger of ignoring it now is that clarity, if dismissed, becomes weight. To hesitate in the face of such direction is to betray the very alignment you asked for. You are not waiting for another sign, the sign has already come. This is the challenge of clarity, it demands courage. When signals are vague, you can hide in uncertainty, excusing yourself by saying you are unsure. But when the signal is clear, you can no longer delay. You either follow or resist. And resistance in this moment is not safety, it is sabotage. Everything in your life has been converging to this point, preparing you to move when the call became undeniable. And now that it has, your only task is obedience to the pull, not calculation. Not hesitation, obedience. You will notice how everything begins to align as you follow. Paths will open that were once blocked. Conversations will flow that were once silent. Resources will appear that were once absent. This is how momentum responds to clarity. It waits for you to agree, and once you do, it moves quickly, forcefully, undeniably. You may fear that you do not know enough, that you are not fully ready, that you cannot see the whole road. But clarity does not give you the entire map, it gives you the next step. And the signal will not fail you. Every time you move in alignment, it strengthens, guiding you to the next point until the journey itself reveals the destination. There will be distractions, there always are. False signals, noise from others, doubts disguised as caution. But you know the difference now. The clear signal feels steady, consistent, alive. It resonates in your chest, not just in your mind. It carries peace even in risk, certainty even in the unknown. The false ones feel anxious, rushed, shallow. They demand attention but lack depth. This is why discernment matters. And you have grown enough to tell the difference. The clarity calling you now is real. And the longer you walk in it, the stronger it becomes. You may fear the opinions of others, especially those close to you who do not see what you see. They may question why you are moving in this direction, why you are following something they cannot hear. But understand this, the signal was not sent to them, it was sent to you. They do not have to understand it because it was not theirs to interpret. Do not expect validation from those who are not tuned into your frequency. Their confusion does not diminish your clarity. Your rise is not contingent on their approval. This is the moment you prayed for, longed for, prepared for. And now that it has come, you must not shrink. Shrinking now would be worse than never seeing the signal at all. Because once you see, you cannot unsee. Once you know, you cannot unknow. The signal is here, alive, insistent. And it is not asking you politely. It is commanding you urgently. Follow it now, while the way is open, while the alignment is alive, while the energy is flowing. To delay is to risk losing momentum. To obey is to step into the unfolding of destiny. What you sense now is not ordinary. It is extraordinary. It is the convergence of timing, alignment, and calling, pulling you into places you never imagined you could reach. The path ahead may be unknown, but the presence of clarity makes it secure. Trust the signal. Trust the timing. Trust the energy that has brought you this far. And most of all, trust yourself, because you were chosen to hear what others could not. Clarity does not remove challenge, it sharpens it. When the signal becomes clear, life begins to test your willingness to follow it with conviction. The distractions grow louder, the alternative paths appear more attractive, and the voices of doubt gain strength. This is not coincidence, it is resistance. The moment you align yourself with true direction, every force that once kept you stagnant attempts to pull you back. Not because the signal is wrong, but because your obedience to it threatens the illusions that thrived in your uncertainty. You are no longer wandering, you are moving with precision, and precision terrifies the forces of confusion. You will notice how the closer you move toward alignment, the more uncomfortable others become. Some will question your motives, accusing you of chasing fantasies. Others will attempt to reason you out of what you know within. Their voices may sound logical, even protective, but logic cannot interpret what was revealed to your spirit. The clear signal does not speak to the mind alone, it resonates deeper. This is why you must remain steadfast even when understanding is absent. The absence of their agreement does not diminish the presence of your calling. The signal was given to you and only you can answer it. Following the signal is not about speed, it is about direction. The temptation will be to run frantically, thinking urgency requires haste, but clarity does not demand chaos, it demands alignment. Each step must be intentional, each decision rooted in conviction, not panic. The signal will not abandon you if you move steadily. What matters is that you move at all. Stagnation is more dangerous than slow progress. The energy of the signal responds to faith, not frenzy. Even one small, consistent step in the right direction is more powerful than 10 frantic steps without alignment. Your courage will be tested in the silence between signals. There will be moments when the clarity you once felt seems faint, when the obvious signs appear to pause. Do not let this shake you. Silence is not absence, it is calibration. The signal does not vanish. It strengthens in the unseen. It waits to see if you will continue walking in faith without constant confirmation. These are the moments that prove whether you trust the path or only the sign. True alignment is revealed not when the signal shouts, but when it whispers and you still obey. Resistance will also appear within you. The habits of hesitation, the fear of failure, the memories of disappointment, they will try to rise again, reminding you of past times when you misread the signs. But this is different. This is not a vague impression. It is clarity undeniable. You cannot treat this moment with the same fear you once carried. The past was preparation, but now is execution. Every shadow of doubt that rises is simply the echo of who you used to be, not the truth of who you are now. You are no longer blind to direction. You are awake, aware, attuned. As you follow, doors will open in unexpected places. Do not be surprised if opportunities arrive in forms you did not anticipate. The signal does not always guide you through familiar landscapes. Often it leads into the unfamiliar, stretching you, challenging you, refining you. This is by design. Growth does not happen in comfort zones. The clear signal calls you into territory that feels bigger than your capacity, precisely because it is meant to expand you. Do not shrink from it. What feels intimidating is actually alignment. What feels beyond you is the very proof that you are stepping into something greater than your own strength. There will also be false signals, loud, flashy distractions designed to mimic the clarity you've been given. They will promise shortcuts, quicker results, easier paths, but their energy will feel different. It will rush you, pressure you, manipulate you. The true signal does not manipulate, it invites, it does not rush, it aligns. It carries peace, even in risk, while false signals carry anxiety, even in comfort. The key is to remain anchored in your inner knowing. Ask yourself, does this path resonate with the peace of alignment, or does it stir confusion? The answer is always found in the frequency of peace. The more you obey the signal, the more resilient you become. Each act of faith builds muscle memory in your spirit. What was once difficult becomes natural. The voice of doubt grows quieter, the pull of distraction weaker. You begin to move with rhythm, not just in response to clarity, but in anticipation of it. This rhythm is power because it keeps you steady even when storms rise. Obedience to the signal trains you to walk through chaos without losing direction. And when others panic, you remain composed because your steps are not guided by circumstances, they are guided by clarity. Do not underestimate the ripple effect of your obedience. Others may not understand the signal you follow, but they will see the fruit of your alignment. They will notice how doors open for you, how peace surrounds you, how resilience anchors you. And though they may not admit it, they will begin to wonder what guides you. Your life itself becomes a beacon, a silent testimony of what happens when someone dares to follow what they cannot fully explain but cannot deny. You inspire not by convincing, but by living. And in time, your obedience will awaken others to trust the signals in their own lives. So remain steady. Do not waver in the noise. Do not abandon the path when silence tests you. Do not trade clarity for convenience. The signal is clear and it is yours to follow. Let your steps align with it day by day, choice by choice, moment by moment. And as you continue, you will see that what began as a single signal becomes an entire path, illuminated one step at a time until you realize that the very journey itself was the destination all along. Every step you take in alignment with the signal is reshaping you. The version of yourself that once hesitated, doubted, and delayed is slowly dissolving, replaced by someone more decisive, more resilient, more attuned. You may not notice the change immediately, but over time the shift becomes undeniable. Your reactions are different, your choices carry more weight, your vision reaches further than before. This is the quiet transformation that comes not from theory but from obedience. Following the signal is not just about reaching a destination, it is about becoming someone capable of living in that destination once you arrive. The obstacles you face now carry a different energy than the ones before. They no longer exist to trap you, but to refine you. Each challenge tests your ability to stay aligned under pressure. Will you follow when the road twists unexpectedly? Will you still trust when the signs are subtle instead of loud? Will you still obey when opposition grows stronger? These tests are not punishments, they are confirmations. They prove that you are no longer moving randomly, but with intention. Resistance appears only when you are advancing, and your ability to move through it strengthens your confidence that the signal is true. You're also learning the rhythm of alignment. The signal does not simply call you once, it calls you again and again, each step leading to the next. And as you obey, you discover that clarity, common says, what was once faint becomes loud, what was once confusing becomes simple. This compounding effect is the reward of persistence. The more you trust, the more the path opens. The more you obey, the more guidance comes. The more you step, the more the road builds itself beneath your feet. This is how momentum works, not through leaps, but through steady steps that reinforce each other until progress becomes inevitable. The transformation is not only internal, it is visible to others. People begin to notice something different about you. They cannot always describe it, but they feel it. Your presence carries more weight, your words carry more conviction, your actions carry more consistency. They may ask what changed, but the truth is simple, you aligned. An alignment radiates, it cannot be hidden. It draws respect, even from those who once doubted you. It creates space, even in rooms where you were once overlooked. It shifts the atmosphere, because when someone walks in clarity, everything around them must adjust. But with this transformation comes responsibility. You cannot go back to living the way you did before. The awareness you now carry demands a higher standard. You must guard your time more carefully, your energy more intentionally, your relationships more wisely. Not every path is yours, not every opportunity is aligned, not every voice deserves your attention. The clearer the signal becomes, the more precise your life must be. Precision is the cost of clarity, and though it may feel restrictive at times, it is actually freedom. The freedom to live without wasted steps, without unnecessary detours, without regrets born of distraction. You will also begin to notice how old fears lose their grip. Situations that once paralyzed you now feel manageable. Choices that once overwhelmed you now feel simple. Even failure does not carry the same weight because you know that as long as you are aligned, mistakes cannot derail you. They may slow you, but they cannot stop you. This is the confidence that clarity brings. It does not promise a perfect path, but it does promise a purposeful one. And purpose has the power to redeem even setbacks, transforming them into lessons that refine you rather than chains that restrain you. The more you grow, the more the signal expands your vision. You begin to see possibilities you never considered before. Where once you saw only one door, now you see many. Where once you felt confined, now you sense expansion. And though the abundance of options could feel overwhelming, you know how to filter them by alignment. The question is no longer what looks good, but what resonates with the signal. This shift protects you from distractions disguised as opportunities. It ensures that you do not settle for less simply because it is available. Alignment teaches you to choose not what is easy, but what is true. There will be moments when you feel stretched, as if the path is asking more from you than you think you can give. But understand this, the signal never calls you to a place where you cannot grow into capacity. If it looks bigger than you, that is because it is meant to expand you. If it feels beyond your strength, that is because it is meant to reveal strength you never knew you had. The stretching is not meant to break you, it is meant to enlarge you. And when you look back, you will see that the very situations you thought would crush you became the ones that built you into who you are now. And so the journey continues, not just forward, but upward. You are not only covering ground, you are rising in dimension, in clarity, in resilience. The signal does not simply lead you across distances, it elevates you into versions of yourself you never imagined. Each step peels away the remnants of the old you and reveals a truer, stronger, freer version. This is why the call feels so urgent, because it is not only about where you are going, but about who you are becoming along the way. The further you go, the more you realize that following the signal is not only about direction, it is about transformation. The call is reshaping the way you move, think, and choose. Every decision you make in alignment strengthens your clarity. Every step you take becomes a declaration that you are no longer living in confusion, but in conviction. This is why the road feels different now. It is not smooth, but it is purposeful. It does not promise ease, but it guarantees meaning. And the more you surrender to it, the more you sense that this journey was never just about reaching a destination. It was about becoming unshakable along the way. As you continue, the circle around you may grow smaller. Not everyone is willing to walk with someone who follows signals they cannot hear. To them, your steps may appear reckless. Your choices may seem unreasonable. Your conviction may feel intimidating. They will ask for explanations you cannot give because what guides you is not theirs to understand. Their distance is not rejection, it is separation. It is the natural shedding of those who cannot survive in the frequency you now inhabit. Though loneliness may visit, it is not a curse. It is a refining fire that strengthens your resolve and deepens your trust in the clarity you've been given. The silence of solitude sharpens your inner hearing. Without the noise of constant opinions, you begin to trust yourself more deeply. The instincts you once doubted now become your compass. The subtle nudges that you once brushed aside now feel undeniable. You discover that you do not need constant external confirmation when your inner clarity is this strong. The signal has tuned you to a frequency where truth is louder than noise, where peace is more convincing than argument, where your own knowing carries more weight than the doubt of others. And in this realization, you find strength you never imagined you possessed. But strength does not come without tests. You will encounter crossroads where the easy path looks tempting and the aligned path feels uncertain. You will face offers that promise quick rewards but carry the weight of compromise. You will be presented with shortcuts designed to distract you from the true journey. In those moments, your resilience will be tested. Will you choose what looks comfortable, or will you remain aligned with what feels true? The answer determines not only your progress, but your identity. For each choice is not just about where you go, it is about who you become. The signal never calls you to shrink, it always calls you to expand. That is why the steps feel larger than your current capacity. That is why the path feels heavier than your current strength. Expansion is uncomfortable because it stretches you into the version of yourself you were always meant to be. Every challenge you face on this path is not meant to crush you, but to carve you. Carve away fear, carve away doubt, carve away hesitation, until what remains is a spirit sharp enough to cut through any obstacle. This carving is not cruelty, it is preparation. It ensures that when you rise fully, you will be able to sustain the height. You may also notice how the signal begins to weave your story together. What once felt random now feels intentional. The setbacks that frustrated you, the delays that discouraged you, the closed doors that confused you, they all make sense in hindsight. They were not accidents. They were alignment in disguise. Each of those moments positioned you for the clarity you now carry. Without them, you would not have the resilience to follow the signal this far. This is the beauty of alignment. It redeems even the pain, transforming it into proof that nothing was wasted. And so you move differently now. You carry yourself with quiet confidence, not because you have all the answers, but because you know you are being guided. You no longer feel the need to explain every step because your validation comes from clarity, not approval. You no longer fear being misunderstood because you understand yourself. You no longer shrink from resistance because resistance confirms you are moving in the right direction. The person who once doubted every decision is gone. In their place stands someone steady, certain, aligned. This is what it means to rise in clarity, not the absence of storms, but the presence of direction within them. Not the promise of applause, but the assurance of alignment. Not the comfort of certainty in outcomes, but the confidence of certainty in steps. You are no longer wandering, you are walking. No longer questioning, you are knowing. No longer waiting, you are moving. And with every step, the signal grows stronger, the path becomes clearer, and your spirit becomes more unshakable. The path has led you far from where you began, and as you look back, you see the evidence of how every signal you chose to follow reshaped you. What once felt like hesitation has been replaced with conviction. What once looked like confusion has turned into clarity. What once weighed you down now fuels your rise. The journey has proven one truth above all: alignment never fails. It may not always be easy, it may not always be quick, but it always brings you exactly where you are meant to be. And now as you stand in this moment, you can feel the culmination of every choice pressing into your spirit, reminding you that you are not the same person who once doubted whether the signal was real. You have become living proof of its power. What you carry now is not just direction, it is identity. You no longer wait for the world to tell you who you are. You move with certainty because the signal confirmed it long ago. The silence of others no longer shakes you because you know the frequency you walk in. Their confusion does not diminish your clarity. Their doubt does not cancel your conviction. You have learned that truth does not require agreement, it requires alignment. And once you are aligned, even the strongest storms cannot push you off course. This strength is no longer fragile, it is fortified because it was built step by step, test by test, moment by moment. As you rise, you also begin to understand why the signal mattered so much. It was never only about guiding you to opportunities, it was about awakening the deepest parts of you that once lay dormant. Every step in obedience unlocked resilience you didn't know existed. Every moment of resistance revealed courage you didn't realize you carried. Every stretch into the unknown expanded your capacity beyond what you thought possible. This is why the signal felt so urgent, because it was pulling you into the version of yourself you were always meant to become. And now, from this vantage point, you can see the pattern. The false starts, the long silences, the sudden alignments. They were all threads in a greater tapestry. None of it was wasted, not even the moments of doubt. The signal was teaching you to trust, teaching you to listen, teaching you to act. And because you dared to follow, you now stand stronger, clearer, freer. This strength is not temporary, it is permanent. It is etched into your spirit, unshakable by circumstance, undeniable in presence. But this rise does not end with you. The alignment you embody ripples outward. Others will notice not just the clarity in your words, but the conviction in your steps. They will see the weight of peace you carry, the resilience in your presence, and they will wonder what guides you. Without explanation, your life will speak for itself. A testimony of what happens when someone dares to follow the signal others ignored. Your rise becomes permission for others to seek their own clarity. Your journey becomes a map for those still lost in static, and your persistence becomes proof that no one is beyond alignment if they are willing to listen. The responsibility of this clarity is heavy, but it is sacred. You must protect it, nurture it, and live it daily. Not everyone will understand and not everyone will join you, but those who are meant to will find you. They will not fear your conviction, they will honor it. They will not resent your clarity, they will resonate with it. And together you will build environments where truth thrives, where signals are trusted, where lives are transformed by alignment rather than lost in confusion. This is the legacy you are stepping into, not one of scattered wandering, but of purposeful direction. Not one of silenced intuition, but of amplified knowing. Not one of doubt, but of unshakable trust. The signal that once seemed faint has become the very rhythm of your life, guiding you through every step, reminding you that you were never lost, you were always being led. And now with clarity coursing through every part of your being, you can walk forward into a future unafraid, unwavering, unstoppable. So let this be your declaration. The signal is clear and you are following it. You will not look back. You will not hesitate. You will not shrink in the face of uncertainty. The static has ended, the clarity has come, and your steps are aligned. Every breath you take is proof of your resilience. Every move you make is evidence of your conviction. And as you walk, the path will continue to unfold, bright, undeniable, and filled with the destiny you were always meant to claim. This is not just the end of a chapter, it is the beginning, the city of a lifetime of alignment. Clarity at this level becomes more than guidance, it becomes transformation, woven into your very essence. You no longer wake up searching for direction. You rise each day with the awareness that you are already in alignment. The fear that once whispered at the edges of your mind no longer holds authority. In its place stands a calm confidence, a quiet strength, a steady conviction. This is what the signal has been shaping in you all along. Not just the ability to follow, but the ability to embody. You no longer chase clarity, you carry it. This shift changes the way you face challenges. Where you once saw obstacles as barriers, you now see them as confirmations that you are advancing. Where you once viewed setbacks as punishments, you now recognize them as recalibrations, aligning you even closer to the path meant for you. Even silence no longer unsettles you because you understand that silence is not the absence of a signal, but the strengthening of your hearing. The pause itself becomes proof that you are being prepared for what comes next. And what comes next is greater than you imagined. The same way the first clear signal shook you from hesitation, the signals ahead will lift you into arenas you once thought unreachable. You will find yourself standing in places you once only dreamed of, not because you forced them open, but because you followed the call when it seemed faint, obeyed when others laughed, and trusted when nothing made sense. The path honors obedience, and the signal always rewards those who walk faithfully.